Hi guys, I've not done a trailer talk video for a while, but what better reason to get back into it than the release of the new Star Wars trailer? It's probably going to be the last trailer that we get before the film is released, but I'm also going to talk about the official movie poster that was released the other day. There's lots of new stuff in the trailer, lots of new audio and some shots we've never seen before, but also some notable absences from the trailer as well, so let's get straight to it. It opens with Rey scavenging on what we assume is the planet of Jakku. It looks like she's going through the Star Destroyer wreckage that we've seen before. It's not clear whether she's looking for something specific or whether she's just looking for anything that could be useful. There's some audio in the background of someone saying, "Who are you?" to Rey, and it sounds to me like that is Princess Leia, so it looks like they're going to meet up at some point in the film. And in reply to this, she says, "I'm no one," so she obviously doesn't have a very high opinion of herself, but she's going to be very important in this film, which I'll talk a little bit more about in a minute. We then get to see Finn taking off his Stormtrooper helmet and looking worried, as he does normally in these trailers. We also get some audio attached to that where he says, "I was raised to do one thing and I've got nothing to fight for." So this is obviously linked to his apparent defection from the First Order and moving over to the Resistance. We still don't know what the cause of that is, but I'm sure we'll find out. Then we see what we're assuming is his TIE fighter being shot down out of space and crash landing on the planet Jakku, and him stumbling over a sand dune looking across to a settlement, which is probably where Rey is based. Then things start getting interesting. We see a shot of Kylo Ren standing on the bridge of some ship, and there's some audio attached to that where he says, "I'm going to finish what you started," and then it cuts to a shot of Darth Vader's burned helmet, which we've already seen in a previous trailer. So it looks like Kylo Ren is very much the new Darth Vader in this, and possibly continuing his mission of trying to wipe out the Jedi, which he failed to do. There is a very brief shot of some trees on some planet being destroyed by this red blast. I think that's to do with the new super weapon, which I'll talk about in a minute, but it was a really brief shot, so we can't really gain much from that. Then it looks like Poe Dameron is going to get into some trouble with Kylo Ren. We saw a brief shot in a behind-the-scenes clip from San Diego Comic-Con that showed Kylo Ren in handcuffs being taken through the belly of a ship. And it looks like he might have been taken to Kylo Ren because Ren appears to be interrogating him using the Force, and Poe is in a lot of pain. So whether he's trying to find some information from him, possibly the location of the Resistance base, we don't know. But it looks like he's going to get captured by the First Order, or at least by Kylo Ren and his men, and he's going to be interrogated. We then see some more shots of the Millennium Falcon being chased by some TIE fighters around the planet Jakku. We've seen some of these before, but there are some new shots, new angles of the chase. Then we hear some more audio from Rey, who says there were stories about what happened. She's talking to Han Solo in this. They're aboard the Millennium Falcon at this point, so it looks like Han and Chewie have come and saved Rey and Finn from Jakku. And Han Solo says in reply to this, "It's true, they're all of it," which is quite a contrast from his character in A New Hope, who doesn't believe in any of the Force or Jedi or anything like that, or hokey religions. He goes on to say that the dark side, the Jedi, it's all real. This suggests that Luke Skywalker's mission to possibly bring back the Jedi after Return of the Jedi hasn't worked so well, or if it did, something major happened to get rid of them all. Possibly why Luke Skywalker has gone into exile, that's rumoured. Or maybe the First Order have come in and used their propaganda machine to erase, or try and erase, all memory of the Jedi, like the Emperor did in the old trilogy. We see a few new shots. There's Kylo Ren and some of his troops standing in the rain. He's not got his hood up on this point, so you can see his face mask is actually part of a whole helmet, very like Darth Vader. He's standing with his lightsaber lit, so he's obviously ready for battle. Then we see an X-Wing and TIE Fighter battle. It looks like there's going to be a couple of these in the films, because the first one we see is set over a planet that's got a lot of forests and greenery on it. But then we see one later on which is happening above an ice planet, which is probably where the Starkiller base is, so it looks like the Resistance are going to attack the base at some point. But there's going to be a few dogfights going on, and they look pretty awesome. Lots of in-close fighting with the fighters, all swooping around and barely missing each other, shooting their lasers at each other. So it looks like it's going to be a really good fight, whichever battle we're watching. At some point, Han, Chewie and Finn are going to get captured by someone. We see a brief shot of them with their hands behind their heads, but then they get distracted by something, and possibly this will lead them to escaping their captors. We don't know who's captured it. It's probably going to be the First Order, or maybe Kylo Ren and these guys. We'll have to wait and see. We then hear some audio from a character I believe is Maz Kanata. We haven't seen any footage of her yet, but she's going to be a completely CG character, much like the character being played by Andy Serkis. She says, "The Force is calling to you." We don't know who she's talking to at this point. I'm thinking it's probably going to be Rey, which leads me to believe that Rey might be one of the descendants of the original characters, maybe Han and Leia's daughter, although that wouldn't make sense if Leia doesn't know who she is. But she could be Luke Skywalker's daughter, or she could be someone completely unrelated at all. But I think she's going to be closely connected with one of the main characters. Then we see Princess Leia and Han hug for the first time. Obviously there's still a lot of feeling there. Whether they're still together at this point, we don't know. 30 years is a long time, a lot can happen in that time. Leia doesn't look particularly happy, she looks quite sad, so whether he's been away for a long time and now he's coming back, or whether something bad's just happened, we don't know. But they're hugging at least, so we know there's going to be a little bit of Han and Leia love in this film. Now we get an extended look at something we've seen before, Finn holding a lightsaber as Kylo Ren approaches him, probably on the planet where the Starkiller base is. Kylo Ren isn't wearing his helmet, so maybe there's been a bit of a scuffle beforehand and maybe Finn got a lucky shot in. I don't think Finn is going to be force sensitive, maybe he's just carrying the lightsaber. I could be wrong, he could be force sensitive, but it doesn't look like he's very secure in what he's doing. Even if he is force sensitive, he has virtually no training with a lightsaber. So I can't see this fight going particularly well for Finn. Maybe he is force sensitive, or maybe he gets rescued by someone. Kylo Ren knows how to use the Force and appears to be quite powerful, so I'm crossing my fingers for Finn because I don't want him to die in this film. That's pretty much all the new stuff from the trailer. Now I'm going to go on to talk about the poster for a little bit. It's all over the internet, so you literally just have to type in Star Wars poster and it'll probably pop up. But I'll just run through a few things. The first thing that struck me was it's very similar to the previous Star Wars posters we've seen before. It's very in keeping with the same theme, but with some notable improvements. A lot more people in this poster than there have been before, but then that's probably because it's a transition from old characters to new characters, so they've got to include some old, some new. The first thing a lot of people have noticed is there appears to be a new Death Star-like super weapon in the background. It looks even bigger than the Death Star, it looks to even be part of a planet. So whether this is inside the planet where the Starkiller base is, or whether it is a station nearby, we don't know, but it appears to be another super laser type weapon. The two characters that are most prominent on this poster is Kylo Ren and Rey, and most importantly, Ren's lightsaber and Rey's staff are parallel to each other, so that obviously signifies some either link or importance between the two of them. So maybe Kylo Ren and Rey are related, maybe they're brother and sister, a bit like Luke and Leia, maybe they're twins, maybe they're both descendants of some of the other characters. We don't know yet, but I think they're going to be quite linked in some way. We keep seeing Rey's staff in trailers and shots. It's obviously very important. It does look a little bit like an extended lightsaber hilt, but we've never actually seen her use it. She's just been carrying it a lot of the time, so maybe we'll actually find out what it does. Maybe it's a gun, maybe it's a force pike or something like that. It could be anything at this point, but it does look a lot like a long-handled lightsaber. You can just about see a new character on the poster. I think this is the character that is Maz Kanata. It remains to be seen if that's true, but you can barely make out what the character looks like. Unless you zoom in really, really close, but then the quality of the picture goes a bit. Then you got Han and Leia on there. It looks like Leia's got a new hairstyle, not the traditional buns that she's had before, but she has a new hairstyle on there. There's also C-3PO and R2-D2, Chewie is on there, Poe Dameron is there in the middle, and then you've got Captain Phasma down the front with some of her stormtroopers flanking her to either side, and some X-Wing fighters and some TIE fighters and Star Destroyers in the background. The typical Star Wars poster things you would expect. And of course the Millennium Falcon is there. I'm really happy with this poster. I was a little bit scared when we got the Comic-Con exclusive poster because I didn't think that one particularly captured the Star Wars ethic, but this one does, and I'm really happy with it. Really excited for the film. The trailer was awesome. Let us know what you think in the comments below, and don't forget to check out our blog at www.jackandgeekstalk.wordpress.com, and stay tuned for more trailer talk videos, and I promise this time it won't be as long in between each video.